Okay guys, let's do a bit of comic book news. Welcome back guys, it's the Raw Geek here. Yes, I recently did a video and I talked about the fact that it was official, Jessica Jones and the Punisher had been cancelled, and therefore Marvel on Netflix is done. The shows that are there, the seasons that are there will remain for several years apparently, but there'll be no renewed seasons of Daredevil and the like on Netflix. And in that video I mentioned about this letter from Marvel TV to the fans, and one of the big points I pointed out was that it said our network partner may have decided they no longer want to continue. And I was sort of saying, well, I thought everyone kind of knew that this was surely a Marvel and Disney decision, right? It wasn't Netflix that wants to cancel these. And this was like a shot at Netflix saying, guys, it's not our fault, it's completely them. And I said I don't really believe this. I don't think that's really the true story. I think they've applied pressure in some way and Netflix kind of folded. And you even had people such as Eminem talking about this. Yes, Marshall Mathers himself said, "Dear Netflix, regarding your cancellation of The Punisher, you are blowing it." So he's not at all happy at Netflix, and neither were a lot of people. But I don't think it's Netflix's fault. And then this article came out, and only a couple of days ago, and I thought, I knew it must have been something like that. So let's have a look at what this says. Earlier this week, Netflix announced they had cancelled the last shows. I'm sure there are a lot of reasons, and obviously the fact that Disney Plus is launching could be a big one. But according to a report, Netflix didn't actually have any kind of ownership stake in any of the shows, and instead they had to pay a steep licensing fee for each season. And so maybe when they started it was, X amount, let's say 10 for argument's sake, and then the next season came out and they said, oh, it's now going to be 15. They're like, oh, okay. And then they just decided to just double that or triple it or something ridiculous. So Marvel have sort of said, look, we will let you continue if you really, really want, but you're going to have to really pay us now. We've got our own Disney Plus streaming service coming out. We've got Hulu if you want to put things on there as well. You're a rival. We don't really want some of our assets being with you anymore. And then by raising the price to a ridiculous point, they forced Netflix to say no. And if anyone asks, they can say, well, it wasn't our fault. It was Netflix that said no. So it's very, very clever, but not so clever that we didn't see through it. But, it's their characters, and if they want to get them back and they don't want to license it out anymore, or they want to make it ridiculously expensive, that's their prerogative. So we may well still get these guys somehow on Hulu or Disney Plus. I can't see it personally. I think it's too weird to carry on their stories because of the fact that the original first part of their stories will be on Netflix, so it seems a bit weird if you have season 1, 2, 3 or whatever on Netflix and then it carries on Hulu. I don't know if it could be on Disney Plus at all due to the nature of some of the content, unless they really sort of watered it down. And Hulu's not quite as Marvel as you'd like it to be for them to put it on there, so I think they'd rather have Marvel shows on Disney Plus. So it's a bit of a sort of, it doesn't really fit either way. But the fact they said, the measure of man's not how he gets knocked down, how he gets back up, to be continued, it kind of hinted that maybe there will be life yet, so we'll have to wait and see. And then some more news from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is about Kevin Feige has confirmed that Black Widow won't be rated R. I don't know why anyone ever thought it would be, to be honest, but apparently some people asked the question, and so he had to confirm it, which is just stupid, but there you go. It was never going to be, said Feige. Somebody writes, I hear it's R-rated, and then everybody writes it up. So that's just a rumour that wasn't true. And, how could it be rated R? They're basically all PG-13, aren't they, the Marvel movies on Disney? So, it wouldn't have made sense if it was rated R. It just wouldn't have worked as a Disney Marvel Cinematic Universe film, I don't think, if they just decided to make that one R. It's just, I don't know why they ever thought that. It's the same reason why we worry about what could happen to Deadpool when the Disney Fox merger happens. They're like, well, how can Deadpool be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe if he's not allowed to have the kind of R-rated stuff that he usually has? I mean, in that instance, maybe he could still be on Fox somehow, but if he wanted to change universes somehow via some technology or some strange event, he'd have to just play it down a bit when he's temporarily in the MCU, and when he's back in maybe like a other universe, he can do what he wants. because, you know, the X-Men type universe is a different Earth to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so moving them all together is always going to be a bit tricky. Black Widow is rumoured to be a prequel set before Natasha Romanoff joined S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Avengers, and yeah, it's going to be the, you know, Russians brainwashing her to be a ruthless killer type thing, I suppose. So, you know, it's not really a new storyline, but it'd be pretty cool, I think. I'm looking forward to watching that. So it's weird that they've waited so long. I think we should have a Black Widow movie a little while ago, but, you know, I'd definitely see that. And then we get onto this bit that I thought was quite interesting. So this is Kevin Feige saying that James Gunn's MCU role was blown out of proportion. So when James Gunn was directing, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, there was rumours he's going to be putting, you know, big efforts into Infinity War as well, and maybe like Adam Warlock, and all the sort of cosmic elements of the MCU would be massively down to him sort of, you know, having a hand in. And then Kevin Feige sort of said, well, no, not really. As the Guardians of the Galaxy characters continue to look for the future of the MCU, so did Gunn too. He made it clear that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 would be a major key to the future of the universe, as it will set up 10 to 20 years of films. His position with Marvel Studios even appeared to be growing beyond the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, with Gunn stating in 2017 that he was shepherding the future of the Marvel Cosmic Universe, which was taken as an indication that he would be somewhat involved in all the cosmic MCU films. But this is the weird thing, so Feige downplays his significance and say, you know, we didn't need him. It's, yeah, not that he was bad, but we don't need him, don't worry about it kind of thing. But it's, you know, they're still happy enough to use his script. So they're still going to use his script for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So it's like, oh, it's just weird. It's like, no, he's not that important. We can do without him. But, I mean, we're still going to use his script. What? That's just ridiculous. And then some more Marvel news, but this time it's about an actual physical comic, nothing to do with cinema, and this is about Black Cat. Are you ready to check up on Felicia Hardy? Black Cat had a big year with her appearance in Spider-Man's PlayStation 4. Oh yeah, she spoke a few times in my playthrough. She was in the DLC, which I've not actually even played yet, but anyway. And it's time the heroine really hopped back to the page. Today, Marvel Comics announced an ongoing Black Cat series. It's coming this summer, and it will get into some high-strung heist drama. She's basically, you know, Catwoman. But don't get worried about all that sort of stuff, because if, you know, if DC wanted to say, you copied our character, Marvel could do it back, and they'll just constantly be back and forth, and it will just be a mess, because they've copied each other so many times, it's not even worth worrying about. The upcoming series will be penned by Jed MacKay, while Travel Foreman oversees penciling. J. Scott Campbell created the cover, which can be seen below. J. Scott Campbell, loving your work. Got it here. I like that cover. I like the colours here, and I like the jewellery there. I think I like the cover. Just something about it I really like. For those who haven't kept up the Amazing Spider-Man's latest run, the comic is about to pay a visit to Black Cat. Yeah, you just said that. Let's read this bit. The Black Cat is back and starring in her first ever ongoing series. Felicia Hardy has a taste for the finer things in life and certain set of skills. she will find you and she will kill you. No, blah 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 blah. She procures the finer things. But due to her actions in Amazing Spider-Man, Felicia's not only on the run from the police, but also by New York Thieves Guild and their boss Odessa Drake. High-octane heists, climactic chases, yada yada yada. Sounds pretty cool. I haven't got Amazing Spider-Man comics in hard copy. I've checked a few out online, but yeah, if you're interested in comics, check that out for, you know, the literature. And then something else, just so you know, Charlie Theron, if that's how you say her name, is starring in The Old Guard for Netflix. So, Deadline brings word that Netflix has acquired the distribution rights for The Old Guard based on the Image comic series of the same name. Gina Prince Bythewood is directing the film, which will star Charlie Theron and Kiki Lane. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these right, but I like to put a little twang on them. Theron has obviously been in the movie business for quite some time. No one cares about that. We know that. You don't need to tell us that. That's a stupid thing to say. So anyway, The Old Guard, there's a picture of them there. I like this picture. It's one of the covers. and you can see there's a blade through this person. Basically, they're immortal, they can't die. So if we read up a little bit, the Old Guard, Eisner-winning writer Greg Rucka, Lazarus, Black Magic, Wonder Woman, and critically acclaimed artist Leandro Fernandez for Discipline, Deadpool, Punisher, Max, team up together to introduce the Old Guard, the story of old soldiers who never die, and yet cannot seem to fade away. Trapped in an immortality without explanation, Andromaque of Scythia, Andy and her comrades ply their trade for those who can find and afford their services. But in the 21st century, immortality is a hard secret to keep, and when you live long enough, you learn that there are many fates worse than death. That sounds pretty bloody good. I've never actually read the comics, but I might now. But anyway, they're doing a movie on Netflix, and so yeah, check that out at some point. I'm sure there'll be a trailer at some point. In a way, I kind of think, if there's only one movie, that's a bit of a shame. I don't know, that kind of sounds like it's got life in it as a series. So, you know, they could have gone for a slightly lesser well-known actress, so it didn't cost as much, obviously, and, you know, scheduling isn't as difficult, and then done a series with this. You know, they got that, what was it, the Umbrella Academy or something recently. It was a series they've got on there, because obviously they now want some superhero type stuff, but they can't do the Marvel stuff. So, you know, the Umbrella Academy is one of the things they did. This is a comic book movie, so, you know, they're not superheroes as such, but you know what I mean. So they could have done a series with this, but, you know, they've done a movie, but it could be pretty good. I think I might check these comics out because they actually look pretty cool. They sound pretty decent. So yeah, when more information comes out, I'll let you know. When there's a trailer, I'm sure we can check it out. But for now, that's just a bit of news about that. And then the last little bit I wanted to talk about is there's a new image release for Batman vs Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, there's an animated movie coming, which, well, the clue's there really. It's Batman vs the Teenage Mutant Turtles, which I think, really, we all wanted, didn't we? Anyway, earlier in the week it was announced that DC Entertainment and Nickelodeon were teaming up to produce an animated film. Today we've got a new image, and here it is. The 4 Ninja Turtles and Batman jumping up in front of the moon. The film was based on Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics miniseries. So why didn't they do the Batman vs Predator series? That's what we really want. The story will see the Turtles meeting Batman via trans-dimensional encounter and feature our heroes team up to face Batman's deadly rogues gallery. And yeah, it's going to be a fun movie. Batman vs Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will arrive on 4K Blu-ray and digital late this spring. The Cape Crusader hangs with the heroes in half shell. Heroes in a half shell in Batman vs Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Sci-Fi Wire shares exclusive details on the animated feature coming spring 2019. So anyway, it's coming soon. And this is another image of it. I love that Batgirl. What do you think? Are you excited about any of the things I just talked about? Have you fallen asleep? If you've not fallen asleep, let me know. So guys, that about do it. Click like if you like that. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you on the next video. And until then, remember, it's not about how hard you get hit or land on the ground or something like that. It's about getting up or something. Alright, bye. Guys, if you're still here, you're awesome! But as you are still here, why not check out some of my other videos? Oh, and if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Laters, haters.